Enter. Okay, and we are. It says Zoom says we're streaming, but
let me go to YouTube, see if we are.
Okay, we're good.
Oh, I hear an echo, so we must be. Oh, yep.
Okay, enter.
And just mute it. Okay.
Okay, hello world. Welcome to the live stream Speak Beastie official Secrets of Dumbledore 2 hours or 1 hour actually of primal screaming. This movie goes without saying that there are going to be spoilers aplenty. So if you have not seen the movie yet, watch this live after you have. It'll be worth it, I promise. And,
should we put somewhere on this stream that it's spoilers?
Can we do that? Like, can we change the name? Title. I'll put it in the chat.
I don't know how. We'll just periodically, I guess.
Oh, I can edit video. Hang on.
Okay.
Let me see if I can. We are learning, y'all. Learning experience for us too. Didn't realize that my stupid Zoom title was going to be on the. What errors are resolved? When errors? Oh no, this is not made for kids. I'm probably going to say the F word. And this time, Catherine can't stop me.
No editing here.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? We don't know.
I think it will become very evident that Catherine makes us sound smarter than we actually are.
No, I was editing. Okay, so now it says spoilers. I was editing my very funny April Fool's Day joke that I did where I recast Hamilton with Disney characters. And I was editing myself and I was like, God, I sound like an idiot. I'm just.
All right.
Anyway, now that we have spoilers on the title, we're going to talk spoilers. Thank you, Jay Watt. You know, if you gotta like unmute and pop on your video if you want to talk with us.
Yeah.
Or if you don't, like that's fine too. Like live your best life, but we're here to yell with you, not just yell at you like we normally do.
I'm gonna try and
hi.
Open. Hi.
Hello, welcome.
Yeah, so I'm just going to hop on to say that that the animal is called Qi Yeah, because basically that Hermione meme every time somebody was referring to the animal in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, thank you. It's not a chillin', right? It's not a chillin'.
No, it's not a chill. I mean, I'm not the only person who heard it as chilling.
It was driving me nuts.
We were recording earlier and we're like, we need someone who knows how to pronounce this because this can't be right.
God.
Yeah.
Okay, so, Amy, what did you think of the movie? Like,
do you want me to reenact my first reaction?
Yes, let's see your. I didn't get to see your face when we were recording earlier, so let me see. Like,
I don't even know what I did. All right, so first reaction was. That was pretty close. Oh yeah, what a movie! I mean, like I said, I'm very happy with it. So really don't have a lot of complaints. And I'm very, very glad because I was very, very worried when the WB logo came up. I turned to my friend and I was like, this damn movie better be worth it. Like, I've waited for 4 years. I've devoted so much of my life at this point. Like, it can't be a disappointment.
Yeah, like Chris and I were actually talking about that today. like how long it's been since the first movie came out. Like that was 2016. That was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
That was just a baby of 31 years old. And
I just graduated college. It's crazy.
the movie was 6 years. And I was in the same boat that I was nervous, especially because my feelings about not Secrets of Dumbledore, Crimes of Grindelwald are very well known.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't know how I'm going to continue doing the podcast if this is bad, because like I don't know what to do. But luckily I don't have to worry about it because it was great. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But something that I have been trying to do whenever I'm talking about it is because the movie has so much potential. It's really easy to get really negative.
Mm-hmm.
You want so much for it.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't get there.
Nothing is ever going to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a really interesting tweet earlier, actually. If I could remember who tweeted it, I would give them a shout out, but I don't remember. I've seen so much on my Twitter timeline. But somebody basically said, it's interesting how critical fans are of this series when Marvel, which take this from me, I love Marvel, but Marvel puts out stuff and everyone's like, oh my God, it's the greatest ever. But is it really that much better than what Fantastic Beasts is? Like, I feel like Fantastic Beasts puts out a movie that's like on par with what Marvel does, if not sometimes a little better. Some of the Marvel movies can be and people will go crazy like tearing it apart. So I don't know. That
like Star Wars, like nobody hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans. I feel like Harry Potter is also kind of reaching that point that nobody hates Harry Potter and Harry Potter adjacent stuff more than Harry Potter fans.
Yeah. Well, I think naturally fans are always going to be critical because we want best for it. But yeah. But no, I really, really liked it. I was very happy with the characters. I was very happy with the writing. I thought that all of the dialogue was really good. And the special effects were amazing. Even like, I know in the spoiler chat, we were talking a little bit about some of the parts that we kind of don't totally get, but like, it was so beautifully done that it was like, oh, wow, this is really cool. Like super trippy, like the Credence stuff with Albus and like flipping into that like mirror dimension.
The Inception thing
wasn't explained, but it worked for me. I was like, ooh, all right. I don't know what's happening, but I really like it.
Like, it's something to do with the drop that Dumbledore sent to him, right? Like that had something to do with bringing him into
Yeah.
That's all I can think of, is that there must have been something there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. And I really loved the Dumbledore Grindelwald confrontation, not really fight, but the face off. Yeah, I thought that was really, really cool and really well done. The choreography was really, really nice, I thought. Oh, we're getting some chats. Raj Vortex 58 says, wish we got multiple Wizarding World shows like what Marvel and Star Wars are currently doing. A Luna and Rolf Discovering Magical Creatures series. HBO Max should get on that. Yeah.
No, how cute would that be?
That would be so good. I still think that Newt's story would have been really cool as like a series, like a TV show series.
It would have been like because one of my favorite parts about Harry Potter is the wider Wizarding World, and we are getting to see more of that in this.
Yeah.
If it were more of a nature documentary, like what's his face, David Attenborough kind of thing, we'd get to see even more of it, and we wouldn't necessarily have to be in big cities. We could be in different places of the wizard world and see how magic is in jungles, see how it is in high mountains, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that that's probably part of why I liked this film so much, is I feel like we got to kind of get glimpses of the wider wizarding world that wasn't always explained, but it was like that it was just there, so it just felt like you're more in the world because they weren't like stopping to explain things to you, because why would they if you knew what the world was and you were really there, right? So I thought that was kind of cool. I really liked seeing all the ministries in the part where they were broadcasting. I thought that was really cool that we got to see the French ministry again. And yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah, I thought the design for the German ministry was beautiful. Like that prince to get in, being the M, and then it's spinning out like that, and then getting into, I don't know what their magical place is called, but it was beautiful. And then inside the ministry, and it was very stylish. There was all those glass walls. Very cool. I wish we'd gotten to see a little bit more of it.
Yeah. Which wasn't there, I'm trying to remember what trailer it was, but wasn't there a clip where like Pickett was running across like the desks and typewriters in there?
Yes.
There was something, because we were like, oh, it looks like he's in that same place as such and such, and we like deduced it was the German ministry. So that must have been cut at some point.
Yeah, I think on his character poster too, he's on a typewriter.
Yes. Yeah, because we saw the character poster and like the background was something like that.
Yeah.
And then it was in one of like maybe the Japanese featurettes or something.
I think it was that.
Yeah.
I was gonna check our discussion guides because I know we did talk about that at length.
Mm-hmm.
God, I don't even remember when it was 147.
One of them.
Yes, it was this. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to have something fascinating of me looking at my phone. Okay, yes, on his character poster, he's standing on a typewriter. And then got Shannon's red tie conspiracy. I remember that one of the things that Marjorie and I talked about in our initial spoiler chat was that they released so much of this movie ahead of time.
Yeah.
And they really did, because I know I tried not to watch a lot of the stuff because I didn't want to like accidentally spoil myself or anything big. But I watched the cafe scene and then the blood pact scene. And so when both those scenes came up, it felt weird because I was like, oh, I've already seen these. I already know what happens. I don't like, it's not, I'm being taken out of it because I'm already familiar with this.
It was interesting because we went so long with nothing, right? And then it took them forever to give us a trailer. And then once the trailer was out, it really took a while for them to give us anything else. But then it was like they just randomly, really close to the movie, started releasing full scenes.
Yeah. And like, that's not normal.
It was a very strange strategy. It was like nothing. Boom, here's the whole movie, but out of order.
Right. It pretty much was.
Yeah, I had only watched the blood pact scene. I really tried to stay away from the others. But even the trailers, it was kind of interesting. The scenes that they chose to put in the trailers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know we talked so much about that scene of Dumbledore, like the shot of him walking through New York. We originally thought it was Berlin, and then we figured out it was New York. And I feel like we had thought that he was going to get Jacob and that maybe this was the start of the movie. It's really interesting. It's like literally the last shot of the movie. Mm-hmm. So it was just weird, like that. And then like the cafe scene with him.
That was the first thing. I was not expecting that.
No, I did not think that would be the opening scene at all. I thought it was like something in his mind or a memory or something that we would get later. I was like, all right. Interesting opening.
Yeah, because the first time I watched it, I thought it was just him sitting in a cafe by himself. But then when I watched it the second time, I noticed that the waitress interacts with Grindelwald. She sets the tea down in front of him, and I think he doesn't. I think she smiles at him, and he ignores her. But it's definitely acknowledged that there's a second person at that table. So for some, what's the word I'm looking for? Like some quality of the meaning, there was another person there.
Mm-hmm. Which I think that's interesting you brought that up about his interactions with the waitress, because I loved this scene and the contrast between how Albus and Galette, how they interacted with the waitress.
Mm-hmm.
She gives Albus his tea, right? And he's like, thank you. Like how a normal, decent human being would treat their waitstaff. And then Grindelwald just like gives her like this like look and like
yeah,
yeah.
He's really saying the quiet part loud in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
like
yeah.
in Crimes of Grindelwald, he really kind of couches it in, we don't want to rule them, we want to just be equal and step into the light and that kind of thing. But in this movie, he's like, no, let's set them all on fire. I hate them. They are worse than cats. Again, 5 months from second to third movie. So what happened in those 5 months that caused him to completely switch the messaging?
That escalated quickly. Yeah.
Because I mean, he's literally not even president for 30 seconds. And then he's like, man, we're at war.
Yeah, so the baby, I'm gonna say it wrong. Chilin?
You can say Chilin, Kilin. Like there's a million different ways to say it, but Chilin is not one of them.
Chilin. Okay. Yeah, so that whole situation, that was very upsetting to me. I was like, really? The first like 10 minutes of this movie and you're going to pull a Bambi and like make me cry as a grown adult because what? Why would you do that? So that was horrible.
Yeah, no, I was not expecting that because it's so cute and you're like, oh, it's a little baby, and I mean, of course, you think it's gonna be with Grit, but then I feel like we were also, at least obsessives like us. I feel like we were lulled into a false sense of security with it because we knew it was going to be alive later on when we thought it was a stool.
We're never going to get past that. The stool. That's not a creature. It's just a stool. All right. It's only the most important creature in the movie. Oh.
So like, I saw Grindelwald with the Keelan, and I was like, oh, it's going to be fine because I know it's alive later on. And then, and I remember there was just like a huge, just horrified gasp from everybody in the audience.
And I had recorded my hopes and expectations audio for Patreon. And one of my main stipulations was you will not hurt the baby Chilin. And what did they do?
Like 10 minutes in. You barely made a dent in your popcorn and you're already like, well.
There it is, folks.
So like, speaking of your hopes and expectations, were met, what were not?
Yeah, I mean, I was really glad that they finally addressed the Ariana Obscurus thing because that was one of my things on my list. I was like, all right, you have to say this at some point because we all know it. Just say it, put it on the record. I'm trying to remember what else I had. I should pull up that document.
Well, while you're doing that, we got a comment in the Zoom chat here from JY. They said they were the only one to arg at Grindelwald slaughtered the Chelan in their theater, and maybe everyone else in your theater was just too shocked to say anything because that was a shock moment.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna make me sign in. That's annoying.
Gross. Oh, we're getting more comments. Rochelle says there were multiple parts where Gasper said, "Ooh, the cafe scene had so much sexual tension." Yes, it did.
Sure did.
Oh my God, it was. Oh, and Raj Vortex 58 says, "I thought they were pulling a Raylo." I have feelings about Raylo, so. If he were Hannibal, he'd be using the Chelan to prepare one of his famous dishes. No.
Oh gosh. Okay, so I had for my hopes, I wanted the Beast to get plenty of screen time and play a large role in the plot itself. They do. I wanted to actually get some answers and not just have questions continue to pile up. But at the same time, I don't want all the answers because I'm hoping for the fourth movie. I think it fit that bill. I feel like we got more answers. There's a few questions still, but for the most part. Here's one thing we didn't get, which I'm kind of sad about. No flashbacks.
Yeah, I was really surprised about that for a movie that we really thought we were going to get them Ariana flashbacks, but
yeah, so we did get the confirmation on her Obscurus, but no flashbacks. Yeah. I kind of wanted this, but at the same time, I guess I kind of don't. I don't know. I'm conflicted. I want to know who cast the spell that killed her, but I wanted it done in a way that it shows the audience, but those involved still don't know.
Ooh, so you're saying like if we got the actual scene.
Yeah.
So, and we track one of their spells to see it hit Ariana. Oh, I like
that. Okay. But like they still don't know.
Yeah.
I thought that would have been kind of cool. I said I hope Tina's absence isn't awkward.
It was not. I thought it was.
I don't think it was. Yeah, I thought it was okay. I hope Jacob doesn't die. All caps. He didn't. But then right under it, all caps, I hope the Chelan doesn't die.
Oh no.
Why? Yeah. My expectations, I said I expect to enjoy the film because I'm optimistic.
Good.
I did enjoy it, so that's good. I expect more Beast because that's what I've been hearing. Yep. I expect to love Eulalie Hicks. I do. I expect more insight into Dumbledore and Grindelwald's relationship to better understand why Dumbledore refused to face him and instead let him go around murdering innocent people, blah, blah, blah. I feel like we got that. Like, I feel like their chemistry and everything kind of made that all a little bit more understandable. And, you know, Dumbledore's reluctance to try and face off with him.
Yeah.
I expect the blood pact to be explained more fully. It sort of fell a little short. I expect for much of the film to be centered on destroying it. Yeah, that didn't happen. Yeah. I expect Grindelwald to try and rig the election. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. So, I mean, it hit a lot of those, like a lot of my main points. I think it took care of, which is good.
So we got some more comments. We got Rochelle saying there were a few parts that felt rushed Little Credence's true story after being the main purpose of the first two movies.
Yeah.
Then continues, I also wonder if they rushed Credence's storyline as Ezra's personal issues. They may not want them in the next movies, which I've been seeing a lot of that kind of speculation that
Yeah.
in the event that movies 4 and 5 do happen, Credence's story is wrapped up. So they can continue just more on the Dumbledore Grindelwald thing and
I think it's interesting though, because I don't know that it has a lot to do with some of the recent stuff. I know there was a lot going on before too, but it seems like most of the more serious things were happening more recently after they'd already.
When did the stuff in Iceland happen? Like that
was during filming.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I feel like this would have already all been written and done with. Mm-hmm. But I think it is good that it kind of opens that up, like, so they can leave and, you know, hopefully get some sort of help, get back on track, you know. And then if they do, I think it was Shannon who said earlier, we recorded earlier, Shannon was saying, you know, that way it also, it leaves it so it can go either way, right? So they can either leave the series if that's what's best or remain on.
And I guess we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
I will say that one of the things that I feel like we'll be able to talk about Queenie for ages and ages and ages. Her arc was so fast.
It was, yeah.
It's like her. So I'm going to use a phrase here. Are you familiar with the phrases heel turn and face turn, like in wrestling?
Yeah.
So her heel turn in Crimes of Grindelwald was way too fast, and then her face turn in this movie was way too fast.
I agree. I know like they wanted to try and wrap that up just for purposes of if we don't continue, but
yeah,
I feel like I really needed to see more of why she went with Grindelwald in the first place, and then sort of see her realizing her mistake more. I feel like we came in after she'd already realized she made the mistake.
And again, like a longer time jump would allow for that.
Yeah.
Because 5 months is, I mean, maybe she regretted it as soon as she walked through the fire and as soon as she was at his castle, maybe she started it. But
yeah,
it's a lot to ask for 5 months.
Yeah. Cat situation.
Oh, hi, Luna. Raj Vortex 58 suggests Lolly teaching Morny for movie 4, which love that. If we can just get a movie of Lolly just living her best life at Ilvermorny, let's do that. Yes.
I want to see Ilvermorny, so yeah, please. Say hello.
Yeah, like from what we got on Pottermore, it looks really cool.
Yeah. The chat is hopping now.
It is. Let's see here. Nutina is always awkward but endearing. That is true. I think one of my favorite like little details was Tina's picture reacting to stuff that was happening or in the scene around her, because I feel like in the movies, photos were more like of a static, like a loop thing. But in the books, we do know that, because I remember in Prisoner of Azkaban. Oh God, this is the second time. I'm really going to get my life. I think it's Prisoner of Azkaban. Ron drips tea on Percy's picture of Penny Clearwater.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, I am out of this animal house. So I love the fact that they brought in more of that interactive detail with the pictures.
Yeah.
One scene, I think it was at the beginning when Newt is working with the Chilin, and like I think the wyvern is coming like right up towards them. You can see her kind of go, whoa. And it's just a really cute small moment.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So We definitely got more of the beasts in this film, which was great.
Yes.
I loved the Niffler and Pickett. I thought that was so cute. Like their little shenanigans and partnership. I was like, oh, I love it.
Do you like when at the beginning when Pickett puts on his little goggles? Oh my god, I died. So cute.
And the manticores. I mean, how can we not talk about Swivel? I feel like, like the Friends episode Pivot, I feel like Swivel is the new Pivot. And we need like all of the gifs and memes of Swivel.
One of the show notes I did for that episode where we had Eric and Micah on was that everybody will be doing the fire crab dance at the next Leaky Con ball. I think there's some truth to that.
Yeah,
we're going to be doing that.
Oh my god.
Because I know a lot of people. I've only been to like 2 Leaky Con balls, so I don't know if this is still a thing that happens, but I remember a lot of people were doing like the Luna dance.
And the aerobic dance. Yep, that was
Doctor Who dance. So yeah, presumably by now people are also doing the aerobic dance, and then we'll start doing the fire crab dance.
At MistyCon, must have been 2017, during the lip sync battle, there was a particularly wonderful Arumpin mating dance.
Iconic. Let's see here. Raj says that the mom manticore was scary, which yes, she was. And like that scene where we just get the like pile of acid-soaked bones and the babies are like, yes!
Yeah.
Adorable, but at the same time horrible.
Disturbing. I love how it's like, oh, look at all the little crab things dance. And then immediately like, ooh. Not so cute.
And Ji Ying says, Teddy looked so much like a mischievous puppy trying to take the port key tie off. And yes, he absolutely did. So cute. And just when the guy went up and just like, and Teddy just, sup, tug.
So cute. And like, I know we talked about this during recording too, but one of the best moments I feel like is when Pickett thinks that Teddy's going to take his hand, and instead Teddy's reaching for the gold coins and just lets Pickett fall. Classic.
So Chris has like this really loud like bark of a laugh whenever he thinks something is really funny. So that moment happened, he just next to me. That made me laugh harder than anything. So great. Let's see. Okay, Rochelle is saying, I think Queenie regretted it right away, and the way he treated Credence and others cemented her desire to leave. Reading what was actually going on in his head was terrifying. That is probably true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just wish we'd seen that more.
Do we think that he could block her though? Does he know occlumency?
Grindelwald, I think so. I feel like we get that. I just watched Crimes of Grindelwald. I should know this.
Yeah.
No, I don't actually. No, I don't think we hear anything.
I feel like you would know that though. I feel like if you're like a pretty powerful witch or wizard, you would probably. But yeah.
One of the things that I'd forgotten about in Crimes of Grindelwald that I think went into like tied really interestingly into this was at the very end of Crimes of Grindelwald at the end of the rally, Lisa's last action is to break the hookah.
Yeah.
And then in this movie, we see that Grindelwald doesn't have as fine of control over his visions anymore.
Yeah.
Kind of sees them in reflective surfaces, and we can tell that it's not as clear and not as detailed as it was when he was using the hookah.
Mm-hmm. It's like he needs that tool in order to be able to see the future.
Yeah, like or at least to be able to see enough of it to make sense of it, I feel like, because he saw bits and pieces.
Mm-hmm.
he didn't really see, because I feel like there was like the scene in Berlin when they're driving and he sees a bit of a vision in the window, but he only sees a couple of seconds of it.
Yeah.
So it's not really enough to be useful anymore.
Right. And it doesn't seem like with the hookah, he could show it to other people, right? And use it to manipulate other people. Whereas these reflections, it seemed like only he could see it.
Yeah. Which, I mean, if he's seeing that, no wonder he tells Vinda to roll the window down. I'd want to be like, yeah, this isn't great. I'm just gonna get out the car and let myself be attacked by my adoring public. This is fine. One thing that, again, I'm sure we'll talk about this at length in other episodes, but Vinda as agent of chaos is my favorite thing. She shows up in scene and she's just smiling, and beautiful and serene, and then she's like, I'm gonna light something on fire, or I'm gonna assassinate that guy, and just chaos ensues, and she's just like sailing through. I am so beautiful. Bye.
We need to get Poppy back on the show.
Please.
Because we need to talk.
Like, it must have been so much fun filming that.
She had a lot of good stuff.
Nice.
And Victoria Yeats too. Like, I know she had said before in interviews like how much more Bunty gets to do in this film, and she definitely did. So
she really did. And she's such a fine comic actress. I'm glad that we got to see a lot of her being able to be funny.
Yes. I loved her in Call the Midwife.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So she's really good. So it was really cool to get to see just a little bit more from her.
Yeah. That scene in the leather maker, which was another thing. It's not a hard call to make that Bunty is standing in front of the leather shop with a case and she's getting duplicate cases. Not a hard call to make, but I'm just going to say I called it. And that scene where she's just like, oh, my husband, he forgets he's married to me. And the dude is just like, so funny.
Oh. And is that how it feels when Theseus forgets he's married to you?
I wake up and he's still not here. Husband. Not one of the other ones. Go into 7-Eleven, I just tell I'm married to Theseus Scamander and he doesn't even know it. And they're just like, ma'am, this is a 7-Eleven. Can you please just pay for your Slurpee? No, I'm not done yet.
Oh my gosh.
Also, so speaking of my husband, after we saw the movie, literally the first thing I did, even though it was, let me think, it was 9:00 here. So it was like 2 or 3 a.m. for Marjo. I texted her like, I have a stepson. And then I was like, oh, wait, my bad. You have a stepson?
Do we have joint custody of the stepson?
Do we have a 27-year-old stepson?
Yeah, you could have Aberforth. I don't want any part of that.
I mean, honestly, though, it kind of is the best of both worlds because, like, you could be like, oh, yes, this is my stepson, but you don't have to worry about raising him because he's 27. He can already just move out.
And he's already dying anyway.
Well, that too.
Dark, but you know.
I had a stepson.
for a little bit.
For a couple weeks. Anyway, so that was my reaction as soon as I got out of the movie. I was like, I gotta text Marjo.
Oh, Lizzie just got out of the theater.
Oh, do you have what's your reaction there, Lizzie?
She just texted the group. She goes, I have some things to say. Oh no.
So Steph says, I loved all the sibling banter between Newt and Theseus. Yes. More of their relationship.
Yeah, we got to see more of the Scamander brothers and the Dumbledore brothers. And that was
I loved how much like family and love was really a core of this movie.
Yeah.
And how like all kinds of love were emphasized, not just romantic love, which I feel like is the most kind we got. But getting to see platonic love and love between friends and love between siblings was really important.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
See here. Oh, we're getting some talk about the mirror writing now.
Oh no, don't even get us started on the mirror writing.
Like again, like one of the things that we talked about, we're gonna spoil this whole episode before it drops on Sunday, whatever. Like how many mirrors did Credence write like text to before he got to the right one? Like how many people got like a text that says like I want to come home on their mirror, and we're just like, well, this is haunted by I don't know, some kind of Victorian child, probably.
Yeah, I don't get the mirror. And I don't understand, like, I don't know.
And like the Rochelle is saying that she wanted to know if it's the same mirror or type of mirror that Sirius and Harry have. And that is like, it's not a bad theory, but the question then is how did the twin of it end up in Grindelwald's castle?
Yeah, and it's not that they can see each other. It's this weird writing thing. I don't know. What I don't understand is, does Credence know that he's writing to Aberforth? Clearly not, because he doesn't know that that's his dad at that point.
Something that I kind of posited in our spoiler chat was that the Hogshead is like a safe place for Dumbledore's. Like that's why Aberforth works there, and that's why Albus has his not birthdays. Oh my god, why am I saying birthdays? He has job interviews there. Christ, maybe he has his birthday parties too there. I don't know. Fourth hires a clown.
Doesn't mean movie 4.
Please.
And the Dumbledore birthday parties.
Oh my god. His job interviews there. It's like maybe it's a safe place for him to be where he knows that nothing's gonna happen. But then again, the question also becomes, how did Credence get connected with that magic in the first place?
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see here. So Ji-Ying says, little did Eddie know when he talked about all the unreleased iPhone footage of him trying out animal dances that I would have to do more of the same in movie 3.
So good.
It's true.
That was like, we did not have a very full theater. I think it was because it was like a Thursday showing.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
Like most people probably went on Friday. But that part, like the entire theater was like laughing like raucously. Like,
phenomenal.
It was great.
Yeah, no, like our both times I saw it, I was lucky enough to be at like a fan preview screening, and so it was full of a bunch of nerds, and
that's the best.
It was so good. It really had like, God, it's been, when was the movie 7 come out? That was 2011, 2012, right?
2011.
Okay, yeah, I think that was like really the last time I had that kind of experience. So being in that theater with a bunch of people who also are invested in the series, and everyone was rolling during that sequence.
And like the best part is, it's coming because we've seen that clip so many times, but it's just so good.
But you don't expect the silliness of the whole scene. It just keeps going.
Yeah. It's like you have like that initial like, oh, it's really funny, I'm gonna laugh, and then it just keeps going, and then it just gets more awkward. It's more funny. It's just no,
it's great. It's great, like it's so well shot, and like this is, you're not swiveling properly, and I'm swiveling like you're swiveling. I don't think so.
I didn't believe you all.
That's so good. So Rochelle says, I'd like to learn more about the history of the baby mama and the reason she got sent away. And Yeah, I would like to at least know her name.
Yeah.
Like, because I think she was sent probably because she was like 16 or 17, unmarried and pregnant. Like,
Yep. That's what it
I'd like
is
to know
back
if she was
then.
magical or not, and I'd like to know what her name was.
I would assume that she is magical because isn't it only like wizarding families that live in Godric's Hollow?
I mean, when we go to Godric's Hollow in Deathly Hallows, there's non-magical people there too. Because James and the statue of James and Lily only activates when it's touched by a magical person. It's not just there all the time.
True. Yeah. Well, then I think I also said this in the spoiler chat, but like Mary Lou Barebone also makes that comment about Credence's mother being an unnatural woman.
But
so it's like
Credence
she
came
knows.
over with Irma. And
well, Corvin came over with Irma.
No, but I'm saying that, but the baby that ended up with Mary Lou was, I think, supposed to be Corvus, which Credence, and he came over with Irma, and Irma's name is on his adoption papers, so she would have thought, oh, he came from Irma.
True. Also, Grindelwald as Graves says something about your parents were magical. You had magical parents.
Yeah.
So I don't know if like same thing. He just thinks because what Mary Lou thinks, or if he actually knows.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he probably. I guess it depends on how much he would have been paying attention to Aberforth during that summer, because he probably would have, if he would have been paying attention to the fact that Aberforth was seeing a girl in the village, then he would probably know. But then, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But then again, the question then becomes, how much attention was he paying?
I feel like Grindelwald was around enough that summer that he'd probably know. But I think he made up the whole "you were abandoned, you were a brother" thing.
Yeah.
Just to get Credence going.
Rod asks, Irma can't tell two babies apart? No.
Clearly not.
I mean, at that age, they're just kind of like, I mean, I don't have any kids. Maybe it's possible that every baby is just a precious little sun drop that doesn't look the same at a certain age. But I feel like if they're under a certain age before they start doing stuff,
they all look the same. You know, some have hair, some don't. That's the main difference.
So also it was dark. There was a lot happening. So maybe by the time she realized it was the wrong baby, she was like, well, I'm in America. What are they going to do?
Oh, well, not my problem anymore.
Here you go, Mary Lou, bye. Raj also pointed out the boys who attacked Ariana were muggles, and Rochelle mostly magical. I believe Hogsmeade is the only 100% full village.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Ariana was attacked before they moved to Godric's Hollow.
Yes, she was attacked when they were still living in Mold on the Wold.
Yeah, because I think that they moved to Godric's Hollow mostly to surround themselves with wizarding families, right?
Mostly wizards, yeah.
And then like to kind of hide her away and like have like that fresh start.
Yeah, that makes sense. Points out that she probably didn't want to get in trouble with Lee's father, which is, I mean, at least she can truthfully say, I delivered a baby to Mary Lou Barebone, or I delivered a baby to the orphanage where Mary Lou eventually got, because we don't know where all that happened.
Yeah.
She could say, I successfully delivered the baby. Goodbye forever. Off to France.
Yeah.
Well, we got about 10 minutes. So any closing thoughts?
I need to see the movie again because I feel like I was just trying to enjoy the movie. So I wasn't like, taking note of things. But yeah, I want to watch it again. Hopefully this week, maybe.
Nice.
Or next weekend. But no, I'm really glad that we finally have this movie. And I'm really glad that it hit so many points on the checklist.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really love these characters. And I really, really want to see these stories continue.
Yes, agreed.
And I think I love Newt and his whole thing and all his beasts and stuff, but I also have come to realize that I'm really here for the Dumbledore story too. Like, I am not mad at it for taking that turn. I want to see more of young Dumbledore and his story, and I want to see that final showdown with him and Grindelwald.
Honestly, what I think I would be happy happening would be, and I don't know if this is like heresy or whatever, but what I would be happy to see happen is rather than having 2 more movies that are trying to split their time between being a nature document, being like about Newt and the Beast, and also being about Grindelwald and Dumbledore, give us 2 separate HBO Max miniseries, or 2 separate, like, 1 movie about Newt, 1 movie about Grindelwald and Dumbledore. Make it a part 1 and a part 2 if you have to. Tie them together if you have to. But give us one movie or 1 HBO Max series about Newt and Tina and having adventures with animals, and then give us 1 movie or 1 HBO Max series about Grindelwald and Dumbledore and all of their stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That way you don't have to keep trying to pull someone who's basically a magical David Attenborough into a political thriller, and you don't have to put this political thriller into a movie about animals. Like, they can do things and they can breathe on their own.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think, I hate to say this because I don't want to let go of Newt as a character. I love him so much. But I do think the way that this movie wrapped up, it leaves room to do what you're saying and leave those last 2 movies as, okay, we've wrapped up Fantastic Beasts. We've wrapped up that main 4 character group that we know and love. Now we're going to wrap up the Dumbledore Grindelwald and just
because
leave it be.
Focus more on Dumbledore and Grindelwald. You can do like a 10-year time skip and not worry about feeling cheated out of not seeing the new Tina wedding or whatever. Like, because those characters are out of the story. Know what happened. Like, maybe we see, and when we know what happens to Dumbledore during that time period, we know he meets baby Tom Riddle, and we know that he grows out his beard and gets the purple suit. So by the time movie 4, he's full on, Jude Law is full on Michael Gambon Dumbledore, living his does Dumbledore life. And we're in like 1935, 1937. And we can move on with the timeline.
I wonder, because we know that the main 4, they had a 3-movie contract, correct? We don't know.
I don't know if that was extended to a 5-movie contract.
Right. So we don't know if they got extended to 5. And we don't know what Jude Law's contract is, right? So I almost wonder if this was, for that reason, wrap that up in case they don't come back for 4 and 5 because they have under contract potentially, and then continue with the people we still have under contract.
Yeah.
Which might also explain the Ezra Miller thing as well, because he might have been a
3-movie contract.
I keep slipping. I'm sorry. They might have been just a 3-movie contract as well.
That makes sense. Rod says Dumbledore doesn't operate alone, though. He always has others to carry out his plans, like he did in this movie, which is true.
Yeah.
Then I guess we could start seeing like the spy network. Maybe we could meet more members of the First Order that he's using to with Grindelwald. That's more new characters, and that's a lot more new characters.
I feel like Lolly and Theseus could fit into this a
Yeah.
little easier,
Mhm.
maybe.
Like, because Tao, Lu Dao, is actually in Flamel's book too. So like if we could get more of him, international team that Dumbledore's working with to try to bring down Grindelwald, more of Santos.
Yeah.
Part of the team. I would be down with that. Like working more as like a high level political intrigue thing.
And then like if it makes sense, bring in Newt in the team, but not like force it. Yeah.
You're putting together a high level political team like that, and you do have the head of the British Auror Office, it wouldn't make a lot of sense to not include the head of the American Auror Office.
Right.
But you've got to work with Catherine Waterston to maybe extend her contract. So I guess we'd see how that goes.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how this goes. And I really, really, really hope we get more movies.
I agree. Like, I really want to see more in this universe.
I feel like they've gotten back on track. And I think having, it's unfortunate that there was such a long break in so many ways, but I think that it helped them put out a better movie. And
agreed.
Yeah, I think that they've got a little more clarity on where they're trying to go now.
Yeah, just like something that hit me the other day was, so actually today, April 15th, is Tokyo Disneyland's 39th birthday and 39th anniversary. And Chris and I were there in 2018, which was their 35th birthday. And that was also the year that Crimes of Grindelwald came out. So it is many anniversaries for Tokyo Disney. This last movie came out. So we don't even know. Like, I think they've said they haven't started writing for yet. We don't know how the timings on that is going to look, but hopefully it's not another 4 years.
Yeah.
I
don't know how we did it. We figured out things to talk about somehow. Those 4 years, but
I don't know if I want to be the 40-year-old on Fantastic Beasts Pod, So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully they don't do that to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll be like, well, this movie's coming out in 2024. We're just gonna work real fast. Okay, this is a runaway success.
But please don't rush it. Make it good.
Oh no, it's great. Well, anything else before we wrap it up this evening?
I don't think so. I think just we've got our new episode dropping on Sunday, so stay tuned for that.
It's wild. We are completely unhinged.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us.
JY, thank you so much for joining us and teaching us how to pronounce Chilean correctly. I can't wait to bring that knowledge to the rest of the hosting team. And Rochelle, Raj, and I think your name was Steph. Thank you so much for joining us in the chat and with all your great insights and questions and comments. We hope to see you around. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Oh, no, now I have to figure out how to stop live streaming.